How did you do? I may be getting buzzed at this point, man. Hey there, so what? Uh, bitch. So, I have a backwoods bastard. This one actually is from last year, so I just did a video with last year's model, and I compared it to this year's model. And I was real careful, right? I was real careful to make sure I didn't I didn't get them mixed up. So I made sure I had one in each hand. I knew which one was what. And if I'd have, I didn't notice until just now because, quite frankly, I'm not all that bright. That last year's model has the actual founder's cap on it, while this year's Backwoods Bastard actually just has a plain black cap. If I would have just noticed a difference in the cap, I wouldn't have to been worried about keeping them separated. Oh, mercy. So anyway, so I'm gonna do a video just of last year's model and just for this year's model. So I did one with both of them together. To compare the differences. So, does this beer lose a step after a year? No, but it does evolve a tad bit, and here's what it does. It is not flat, but the carbonation does lose a step. Is that a bad thing? Well, it depends on your palate and what you like, but I'm going to say no, because here's what happens. You lose a tad bit on the carbonation, but your other flavors become more amplified. This has got big dark toffee notes. Big sweet caramel. I mean, you get vanilla from the bourbon. There's a lot of things going on here. I had to pull their website back up. That's what I was doing, man. And when the carbonation has lessened, but everything else has amped up. So I noticed it right away when I poured both of them that the aromas were bigger on the year-old model, and I think that's what's going on. Is everything has gotten bigger, the carbonation down, the flavors up. So I'm actually think I'm gonna. I only saved one bottle. So I think this year I'm going to save 2 bottles and do one next year with the 13 and 14 models, and then save, I can gradually kind of step this up to 13, 14, 15, 14, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's what I'll do. Because I wasn't sure how much this would change, if it would change any after a year. It did change a little bit, not a whole lot, but enough to notice there are some differences. The caramel is bigger, the vanilla is bigger, the oaky is bigger, the smoke is bigger, the roasted malts are bigger, the spice is bigger. It says a scintilla of dark fruit. Everything is bigger, but the carbonation, and that's the only thing different. The carbonation is less, everything else is amped up. But the carbonation is noticeably less. It's not enough to say it's flat, because there is some carbonation there, but it is noticeable after a year. So I'm curious how much more noticeable I can't speak noticeable it would be after 2 years. I got a feeling this beer would be great after 5 years. I think it'd be awesome after 10 years. I just think this beer isn't going bad. I think if the nuclear holocaust hit right now, and there was some Backwoods Bastard hit underground and somebody found him 100 years from now, they would be ass-kicking good. That's just my personal opinion on the matter. I love Founders. I love Backwoods Bastard. Do I think everything Founders does hits it out of the park? No, but nobody does, right? But this beer does. This beer does. This beer does. This beer is one of the most consistent barrel-aged beers on the market, and is always good. There are differences from year to year because you're going to. It's just inevitable, but it is incredibly consistent and is incredibly good all the time. Founder's Backwoods Bastard is one of my favorite beers, bar none. You should find it, man, before I drink it all, because I will, man, I will!